I'd never thought about politics, but I just wondered whether I could be able to interact with the people, do something with them to be able to, perhaps enhance their existence or in whatever manner. And then suddenly, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, who was a personal friend, called me and said, this was soon after the assassination of Mrs. Gandhi, to fight an election. And I did it more out of an emotional bonding with the family, rather than, I knew nothing about politics, I still don't. And I felt that perhaps this is an indication, some kind of divine indication, that is giving me an opportunity to serve the people. I tried for 2 years and then felt that I was not qualified for it, so I resigned. When you talk about the corporatization of the film industry, we were pioneers in that. We were the first corporate company. And this came about because I was in New York during a show that I was doing there, and the American lawyer that was assisting us would often talk to me about many of the big studios, Warner's, 20th Century Fox, Sony, wanting an appointment with me. And I thought that this was a joke because, why would they want to meet me? I mean, how do they know me? They don't know anything about India or me, or let alone acting. But he insisted that I at least accept their invitation. So I met a lot of their executives. And I was shocked and surprised to know that all of them had an entire database on what was going on in India, what was happening in the film industry, who the prominent people were, how the finances worked, everything. And when I came back from that meeting, my lawyer said, Mr. Bachchan, I think you should go back and get your house in order because the Americans are coming. And they treated India like, all their letters were titled India, the New Frontier. And I'm talking about 1992. So when I came and expressed that idea to many of the corporate worlds, the investment bankers, they didn't seem to understand at that point of time that the film industry, which has been virtually a very individualistic enterprise, run almost like a mama papa operation. Why would somebody want to invest money in forming a corporation? But that's how it was. And when our initial investors who finally invested in this corporation asked us, this is not bricks and cement and manufacturing. How do we fortify this investment? And for the first time ever, I think, and perhaps first time ever in the history of corporatization, there was an evaluation done of a human being.
Yeah.
So there was an evaluation put to me and my wife. And that's the 18 crore rupees we got as our initial funding for that corporation, as the startup operation. So a lot has changed since then. Yes, we didn't know how to run it.
Yeah.
And we failed miserably because none of us knew how to run a corporation. We hired executives from very important corporate houses from other walks of life. And they took their time and they took their decisions. I was told, you must not interfere in the workings of an executive. I keep quoting my father all the time, and I'm sure I've done this millions of times. One of the first things he taught me was, man ka ho to acha, na ho to zyada acha. If things happen according to how you wish, that's good. But if they don't, that's even better. And I could never understand that. And when I asked him, he said, if they're not happening according to your wish, they're happening according to the wish of some divine force. And that divine force will never think ill about you. So you have to respect that as being better. So if things worked, I said, fine. If they didn't, I felt that there was some kind of divine force or divinity that didn't want me to do that, and perhaps wait for another opportunity. The other thing he told me was, when I was struggling a lot in those times, I said, bada sangharsh hai jeevan mein. So he said, jab tak jeevan hai, tab tak sangharsh hai. I used to tell him, life is a struggle. And he used to say, so long as there is life, there is going to be struggle. I think if we accept this factor, that your life is never going to be easy, something or the other is going to happen. So rather than sit in some kind of despondency on that and be aware that tomorrow is another challenge, is another day, which could turn out to be profitable, which may not, but eventually there will be another day when you can start trying all over again. I look for challenges even today, and even as I sit here, I hope that tomorrow, as I start a new film, I will be able to look at it as a challenge. I'm still very nervous when I go there. I feel that every new opportunity that comes my way needs to be looked at as that one door that will open something which perhaps will stop me from being bankrupt again and stop me from getting back into that situation where I had to plead against all my debtors to save me from this situation. And that's how I look at it every day. I hope that I can continue doing that because I don't want this sword, this Damocles sword hanging on my head, and therefore I continue working so long as I can. But yes, in the back of my mind, there will be those ugly moments that plagued me, and the fear of them recurring again is perhaps what drives me every day.